I live? Are you live? Are we live? So here we are. We're live. This is the weekly 5G4D live stream. And I don't think anyone's watching at the moment, which is a little bit depressing. But, I'll carry on. So, welcome, 5G4D live stream. How is everybody this evening? The great 0 people who are watching, but hopefully some people will tune in. And then it'll be fun and we'll talk about stuff and that, won't we? One person's watching. Hello. So, I just want to say, if you have any questions, you can ask me some questions, and it can be anything. I'll answer questions about anything, and I promise I will answer any question, no matter how sort of controversial or kind of uncomfortable it is. It's Meeple Pete. Meeple Pete, good evening. Meeple Pete, are you not in Nuremberg? Oh, has he gone away? Has he gone away? There's 2 people now. If Meeple Pete's still there, why aren't you in Nuremberg? So it is the week of Nuremberg at the moment, and it is the one sort of big German affair I haven't been to yet, and I really want to go because it looks great. And I know it's a big thing where board games are really a small part of it, but it appeals to me, and I think I could do some really good work at Nuremberg because it's quite quiet. See, unfortunately, Meeple Pete has a job that's not related to games. I feel your pain. I'm basically doing this for a job at the moment, and the difference between you actually make money, I don't. But I feel your pain. But we should go together one year. Go to Nuremberg. It'd be great. Yeah, so why haven't I gone? The reason I haven't gone to Nuremberg, and the reason I've never gone to Nuremberg, is because I spoke to the head of Nuremberg a couple of years ago, and he said, please come to Nuremberg. You're more than welcome to come. I'm just going to move my camera a bit. And he said, you're more than welcome to come. But the problem with Nuremberg is that finding accommodation is a real pain in the ass because it's such a big event. And Nuremberg is a small city. And so finding accommodation, and not only that, finding accommodation that isn't crazily expensive is really difficult to do. So I've yet to go. Pete is saying Jugendherberge. Do I count as youth anymore? That's the problem. That's youth hostel in English. Do I count as youth anymore? Am I going to be walking around the Jugendherberge and people? So Meeple Pete asks another question. Friends. As we all know, I don't have friends. But, maybe one day I'll make some friends. I need to learn how to do it. But, yeah, so I'd love to go to Nuremberg. I'd love to. People are putting photos. Rita Modal seems to upload 1,000 photos an hour. So I get to live vicariously through her. But I would love to go to Nuremberg. And unfortunately, I've yet to do it. Maybe next year. That would be cool. But, Essen and LaRiaCon is coming up. And I'm probably going to get Steve on to do a pre-LaRiaCon stream at the end of February. Is Meeple Pete going to LaRiaCon? I don't know. He has been there. I'd love to play a new game. What's Rita's new game? I've no idea what it is. Is it the one? Is Deep Print doing it? I don't know. I don't know if you could write in the chat, Pete, what Rita Modal's new game is. It hurts me to say I've never played a game by Rita Modal. Have you played Zwergendorf? Is it called Zwergendorf? Pete, and if so, is it any good? Anyway, so yeah, week in Nuremberg. I'm going to open up by playing a song. I wanted and was told that I can stay with Isaac. Well, that's it. So come, LaRiaCon. And if people are watching this and they've never been to LaRiaCon, super interesting. Got a message on the Discord, which you can join by going to 5g4d.com, clicking on the pinned post, and come and join the Discord. There's someone who's going to LaRiaCon for the first time, and they were a bit nervous, and they came onto the Discord, and we've been sort of orienting them and telling them what the deal is and stuff. LaRiaCon is the best convention in the world. It's held on the Portuguese coast every March. This time it's actually quite early in March. And I know we're doing admin on air here, but I will speak to him, Pete. And it's held on the Atlantic coast every March. And it's just an absolutely wonderful 4 days. It is the best convention I've been to. Everyone's so friendly. It's all self-contained in the hotel, so there's food and booze and all that. Right, I'm going to open up with a song. Why not play a song? I bought a guitar stand after I dropped my guitar twice last week. I've invested in a guitar stand the minute I finished the stream. That's a D chord. Finding it hard to sort of find room. It's an A7, A minor 7. So I was thinking, it's the 31st of January today. I think it is. Yep, it's the 31st of January. So I am going to play a Decemberist song called January Hymn. But I've got to try and get this capo on the 2nd fret first. Ugh, it's rough. Something wrong with my guitar. I can put the capo on any other fret, but the 2nd fret really gives me an issue. And so many indie songs have a capo on the 2nd fret for some reason. Is it the most indie of all keys? F sharp? I don't know. That's not good, is it? Give me a second. That sounds all right, doesn't it? All right. So this is January Hymn by the Decemberists. God, it sounds terrible. Hang on. On a winter Sunday I go, clear away the snow, green the ground below. April all an ocean away. Is this a better way to spend the day? Keeping the winter at bay. What were the words I meant to say before you left? When I could see your breath lead where you were going to. Maybe I should just let it be. Maybe it will all come back to me. Say no, January, oh. How I lived a childhood in snow, and all my teens in tow, stuffed in strata of clothes. Pale the winter days after dark, wandering the grey Memorial Park, the fleeting beating of hearts. What were the words I meant to say before she left? When I could see her breath lead where she was going to. Maybe I should just let it be. And maybe it will all come back to me. Oh, January, oh, January, oh. There we go. The Decemberists. Very exciting. I like that album. I like that Decemberists album. It's a good one. Is my guitar stand working? Hang on a minute. Technology, you see. I didn't go for a normal guitar stand. I went one with that looked cool. Maybe it's crap. No, it's working. Good. Excellent. So, Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's David Moser. Hi, Dave, all the way from California. Very exciting. Meeple Pete says hello as well. Yeah, damn right, it's a nice song. Yeah, so what we're going to do, so as I said, Lumicora, yes, she's showing it a lot on Instagram. It actually looks lovely. It's by Deep Print. So it's going to be a good one. Deep Print are a good publisher. Meeple Pete saying hello to Betty there. So, yes. So this week, what we're going to do is we are going to tier list Reiner Knizia games. So I've got my geek list of Reiner Knizia games, and then I'm going to tier list them because, you know, it's funky with the kids and that. First of all, I want to talk about sort of 5G for D stuff and kind of what's coming on that. So, very exciting day today in 5G for D because I did two absolutely brilliant things. So the first thing is I went over to the luscious Steven Cyrex house and recorded the first ever 5G for D at the movies show. So if you don't know this, I have a Patreon you can go to, patreon.com/5G for D. And as a goal for hitting a certain amount of money, we said we'd do a movie show. And the movie show consists of watching a film that is connected to or based upon a board game and then talking about it. And having a couple of criteria. And the criteria is not just, well, it's the criteria is firstly how it is as a movie. Is it a good movie? Because inevitably we're going to have to watch Battleship at some point, and it's going to be an absolute bloody nightmare. And the second point is how well it evokes or feels like the game it's supposed to represent. And the first film we chose was the 1980s classic Clue, which is based on Cluedo if you're in Britain. And we watched it the other night, and then we recorded the show about it today. And two things. Firstly, I think it's the film is great, and if you haven't seen it, you should. And secondly, I think the show we recorded today was absolutely excellent as well. And I'm going to release the first episode of the movie show onto the main feed, so everyone can listen to it. And then after that, it will be a Patreon exclusive show. And I think what we did was really excellent. I think it is going to be a great show in the 5 Games for Doomsday stable. And I think we get into some sort of fairly esoteric, deep stuff about movies and story, but also how Clue evokes the game, which, spoiler alert, I think it does brilliantly. Clue is a really loving homage to the board game and does it surprisingly well in a load of ways. And so, yeah, this is going to be coming out. I'm going to edit it this week, and then it's going to come out probably middle of next week. And it's a good one. And then I had to rush back from Steven's house after recording the show because I had an appointment with one of the great names in board gaming. And that was the eternal Alan Moon. I managed finally. So I leveraged my board game connection. So I asked Martin Wallace if he could write to Alan Moon and get him to, indeed, Mr. Moon. I wrote to him and asked him if he could get hold of Alan for me and ask him to come on my show. And he did. And Alan came on the show. And it's so fascinating doing an interview show with these sort of stars in the board game world. Because it's just so fascinating how people are. I've interviewed people, some of them, and I will mention no names, but some of them sort of fairly well-known names in the board game industry, and I sort of bounced off them. I wouldn't say some seemed arrogant, some seemed offish, some seemed like they couldn't be bothered. I often wonder when you seem like you can't be bothered, why you bother, but there we are. But I was happy to report Alan Moon was wonderful. The show is going to be super interesting. We talk about so many different aspects of his life. We talk about the main thing, you know, the elephant in the room, which is how does designing a game like Ticket to Ride affect you? How does it affect your life, both creatively, financially, all of that sort of stuff? But there's a lot of stuff about Alan Moon, that I don't think people know. And the fact that he fought in Vietnam is something that I didn't know until I started doing research. And so we talk about that. We talk about the effects of war on somebody. We talk about his life before running his own publishing company, which he did for 7 or 8 years. And then, we talk about the gigantic thing that is Ticket to Ride. And it's going to be a fascinating interview. And the last few weeks, I've interviewed some really cool people. I've interviewed the head of Ion Game Design, Besime Yannick. She's got an Armenian name. I'm not great at pronunciation. I interviewed Paula Deming and a few other people. Trevor Benjamin, designer of Undaunted. We've got a lot of really cool shows coming up. And what's so great about doing this show is that when I think that I'm coming to the end of people I can possibly interview, loads more come up. So this is going to be a great year for 5G4D. And I've got a couple more interviews. I'm going to edit them all up, and it's great. And, going on into the future and plans for the next sort of month. So February is going to be a super exciting month for 5G4D too, because we have the movie show, which is cool. We're going to have some LyriaCon build-up shows, which is going to be cool. And also, I've recorded the first episode, though I haven't edited it yet, and it's going to be a pretty epic editing task. We're starting an actual play D&D show. So for my last birthday, Steve bought me an updated 5e version of the Temple of Elemental Evil, the original, not the new one that Wizards released. And we're going to play that. We're going to do an actual play, but it's not going to be what you expect from many actual plays, which is just people sitting around playing D&D. It is going to be people sitting around playing D&D, people having a laugh playing D&D, but I'm going to super edit it with sound effects and all of that sort of stuff. And so I hope the game is going to be really entertaining. And we're starting off with prologues. Each character is going to have their own separate one-shot where you get introduced to the character. I've recorded the first one, yet to edit it. I'm hoping to record the second one this weekend. And then I'm not sure if I got 3 or 4 players yet. And then we'll start the campaign proper with everyone around the table. It's going to be a really cool show. And that's going to be releasing every 2 weeks. And yeah, it's going to be great. It's all great for 5G4D at the moment. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat. If you haven't, you haven't. And I'm going to play another song before I get into the tier list. This is very exciting. So what should I play? I think I am going to play a bit of Ryan Adams. Reason being is mine and his voice. God, this guitar sounds terrible. Yeah, mine and his voice are very similar. So I find that I can sing his songs pretty well. Okay, so I'm just going to get the music up, and then we'll get onto the tier list. Yeah, that's right. When they call your name, will you walk right up with a smile on your face? Will you cower in fear in your favorite sweater with an old love letter? I wish you would. I wish you would. Come pick me up, take me out, fuck me up, steal my records, screw all my friends, they're all full of shit, with a smile on your face, and then do it again. wish you were. When you're walking downtown, do you wish I was there? Do you wish it was me? With the windows all clear and the mannequin's eye, do they all look like mine? You know you could. I wish you would. Come pick me up, take me out, fuck me up, steal my records, screw all my friends behind my back, with a smile on your face, and then do it again. I wish you were. I wish you'd make up my bed so I could make up my mind. Trying for sleeping instead. Maybe you'll rest sometime. I wish I could. I wish I could. I wish I could. That's a good one. He's good, Ryan Adams. He's good. Especially his earlier stuff is really excellent. Excellent. So there we are. Right, let's get to this tier list, shall we? Where am I? Excellent. So if you've got any questions, just pop questions up and I will answer them when I get to them. But for now, let's get to this tier list. So here we are. I think, hang on. I'm just got to get it right. No, that's not right. That's the one. All right, here we go. This is very exciting. Tier list time. And these are Knizia games. And so I've decided to go with these categories. Masterpiece, incredible, good, fine, dross, and what's this? And the reason what's this is a category on this is because he's designed so many games, and I can certainly think of one on this list that I just can't remember it at all. And that's going to go in the what's this. There's not going to be many dross, but at the same time, I don't think there's going to be many masterpieces, because although I think he's an incredible designer, Knizia, most of his games are just really good. There are just a couple that are absolutely astonishing. So let's start. And this is going to be a surprising one, I think. And we'll just go in the order I've uploaded these. So we have Tigris and Euphrates. And if you have opinions which tier these should go into, let me know. But Tigris and Euphrates, I have to give Tigris and Euphrates. I played this once. I didn't have a lot of fun with it, to be honest. I found it quite counterintuitive and difficult to grok, which is surprising with a Knizia game. And I've tried with it and I can't. So I'm going to put this Tigris and Euphrates in fine. So Meeple Pete says it's a masterpiece. So the thing is, with this, you have to realize that this is a movable feast, right? If I play Tigris and Euphrates more, then maybe I'll change my mind and think it's a masterpiece. But I played it once and I didn't enjoy it. So Meeple Pete, if you have a copy of Tigris and Euphrates and you want to bring it to game night one night, bring it to game night, and maybe I'll up me thing on my tier list. But I think that's possibly the most controversial of tonight. It is area control. Yes, I liked it after 5 plays. No, I haven't. Yeah, I answered all the questions. Yeah, it's a game you need to play. I think it's a game you need to grok, and it's a game you need to. So my favorite game of all time, as many people know, is Through the Ages, and I hated it the first time I played it. Some games just need playing. Okay, Amun-Re. Well, this is interesting because I played Amun-Re once, and let me just sip of water. And Tigris and Euphrates goes into fine, but I played Amun-Re once, and I was because people talk about the classic Knizia auction games, and this is in those strata of classic Knizia auction games. And so Meeple Pete says it's not his kind of game. Why not? Just out of curiosity. And I absolutely had an incredible time with this. This isn't my top tier of Knizia. This isn't my favorite Knizia, but I played it once. I absolutely adored it, and I'm sticking Amun-Re in incredible. So far, the agreeing nature of mine and Meeple Pete's opinions aren't so hot, but I thought Amun-Re was really great, and it wipes halfway through the game, which is super interesting. It uses auctions. It's not a solely auction-based game, and it uses auctions an incredible way. It's a super clever game. Radu Gaston says Amun-Re is great. I agree. I put it in incredible. It's not a masterpiece, but it's really, really good. I mean, Knizia is really, really good, isn't he? So, his games are going to be good. Lord of the Rings, The Confrontation. Now, I can't remember who sent me this, but a listener sent me this, and so I have to say thank you to them. And this is an update of Stratego. Would be I cred? What's that mean, Pete? Anyway, yeah. I played and it's an update of Stratego. But it's just so Knizia is this great designer that manages to take sort of established mechanisms, just put a little twist on them. And the way the board is set out really sets up a challenge. It's a game that plays in 15 minutes, but it offers an incredible strategic challenge. And people have been telling me for years, Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation. Now, it's not War of the Ring, of course. Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation is fantastic. And I eventually got to play it. And I don't have the super duper version. I have the original version, but it's still fantastic. And so I'm going to put Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation in incredible. And if you have never played it, play it. If you're in Berlin and you've never played it and you want to play it, tell me. I'll bring it to game night and we'll play it. Have you played this one, Pete? Because it's fantastic. Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation is great. And it feels thematic. And people go on a lot, I think, about Knizia not being a thematic designer. And I think that's just wrong. Some of his games aren't thematic, but some of them are incredibly thematic. And this is one of them. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, Through the Desert. This is a classic Knizia abstract game. Again, a game I came to late. I've only played it recently. And I played this, and first time I played it, I was absolutely destroyed by everybody. Second time I played it, I worked out the heuristics, and I think I came second. I didn't come first, but I think I came second. And this is classic Knizia. This is where Knizia really rules. This is a game that is super simple. You can teach it in 5 minutes, and yet the strategic depth is so prevalent in this game. It is so much fun. It's so challenging. It's mean. Right out of the gate, you're bumping up against people. And what it does really well is it is a multiplayer abstract. It is a brilliant multiplayer abstract that uses the amount of people around the table really to its advantage. I've only ever played it at a full player count. And it's just so much fun, so aggressive. And yeah, again, another one. I didn't really think about this. So the way these tier lists work is that closer to the left is better. And so I think Through the Desert is better than Lord of the Rings: Confrontation. And I think it's better than Amun-Re. I think Through the Desert is brilliant. It is not a masterpiece, but it is incredible. It's an incredible game. And if you can And if you ever get the chance to play it. So this is different now, I think, Pete. The Lord of the Rings one is the co-op game, and maybe you're talking about Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation is the 2-player game that is based on Stratego, which is really good. All right, next one. El Dorado, the Reiner Knizia deck building game that came out sort of 10 years after deck building, and it felt like he kind of finally played Dominion 10 years later. And it's all right. It's a sort of some people think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm not on that. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's good. I'm sorry, I have to put Eldorado in fine. I think it's okay. Maybe again, if you play it more, it's great. But Eldorado, I think, is fine. It's not one of his best. It was nominated for Spiel des Jahres and it didn't win. I don't know. So Rui Gaston says it's fantastic. I don't know. I don't know if it improves with more plays, but as it is, I think it's fine. I didn't love it. I must confess, I wasn't blown away. Llama, again, nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. I think Eldorado was nominated for Kennerspiel. This one nominated for Spiel des Jahres. It's a very simple card-laying game. And I like this a lot more. It's gone down in my estimation, but I would put Llama in good. I think Llama is a good game. It's a very solid game. It's a very easy game. It's very fun to play. I would highly recommend it. So Radu Gaston says Llama is fine. I think it's a little bit better than fine, but I wouldn't argue hugely between good and fine either. It's certainly not up there with his best. So what are we looking at now? The reason I created the What's This tab is for Longboard. Now, I remember where I played this, and I remember who I played this with, and I do not remember the game one iota. I think it's got multi-cards or something. This is one of those. I was playing a Knizia game with someone, and someone turned around to me and said, he just craps these out, doesn't he? And some of his games feel like that, and this one really feels like that. It feels like it's just, it's a perfectly serviceable game. It works. Knizia's games always work, and they're very simple, but I was surprised at how sort of unremarkable this was. And I guess if you publish that many games, you're going to have lots of unremarkable games, and this one is unremarkable. So that's all I can say about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon, I think, is one of the best games Reiner Knizia has published in years. It is not a masterpiece. I can say that much. But I think Blue Lagoon is incredible. I'm always blown away. Great designs. I'm always blown away by when you play a game and it's so easy. You do one thing. So in Blue Lagoon, you place a token, and yet the ramifications of that one action are huge, and they reverberate all around the board. I think Blue Lagoon is just so good. And then, in the second half where the game turns, I absolutely love it. I think it is a spectacular design, a spectacularly simple design. And this is where Knizia excels, in things that are deceptively simple and yet absolutely incredible and engaging. I love Blue Lagoon. I don't own it, and I wish I did. And I'm trying to think. I think it's better than Lord of the Rings Confrontation, but I don't think it's better than Amun-Re Through the Desert. But if you've never played Blue Lagoon, it's a super simple game, and it is absolutely brilliant. And I highly recommend anyone to give it a go. It is Knizia. I've never been able to get into his tile layers: Blue Lagoon, T&E, Yellow, and Yangtze. I don't feel like Blue Lagoon feels like a tile layer to me, particularly. I guess it is. It's more of a route builder, it feels to me, but play Blue Lagoon again. It's so great. It's so great. And it's so simple, and I really admire that you're able to you're able to bring something out of almost nothing. So Pete's asking me if I know the co-op for Lord of the Rings. Maybe I've played it, but I don't remember. I've seen it on a table, but I don't think I played it. And I think I should, because it's the first big co-op. It was the first co-op, I think, that really caused ripples in the hobby. And it's pre-pandemic. And I don't mean the pandemic a few years ago. I mean the game pandemic. Is this video gonna get flagged because I said the word pandemic when I'm talking about a board game? Who knows? What a wonderful world we live in. Now, Mila Fury. I didn't love this one. I'm going to put Mila Fury in good, but I didn't love it. People were talking about how great it was, and I bought it, and I played it 2 or 3 times to really give it a chance, and I just didn't love it. I found it a little fiddly, and I find it, frankly, a little dull. Is that sacrilegious to say? I didn't love Mila Fury. Does anyone here have views on Mila Fury? I didn't love it. Mila Fury. Meh. Fine. I'm going to rate this one, and I'm going to play another song, and then we'll finish off. So, Miskatonic University. This is a push your luck game from Knizia, and it's probably one that no one's heard of. And the only reason I've heard of it is because my podcast partner, Steve, backed it on Kickstarter, because I think it said Reiner Knizia, and I think a lot of these sort of games get sold because of Reiner Knizia. Does this feel Cthulhu-y? Not one iota. This is a Knizia game that's completely themeless. It's fine. It's a push your luck game. I think I enjoyed it more than El Dorado, to be honest. It's a push your luck game. It's Knizia, so it's going to work. But this is not top draw Knizia. This is not excellent Knizia. This is not super entertaining Knizia. It is another one he shit out. Right, I'm going to play a popular song. I think it's a popular song. Most people know this one. This is from the band Bright Eyes. And one of my favorite albums is I'm Wide Awake, It's Morning by Bright Eyes. I think it's an absolutely fantastic album. I think every song is kind of flawless on it. And I've loved this album for years, and I think this is one of the best tracks. And it's certainly one of the catchiest. And what's so great about I'm Wide Awake, It's Morning is that it is lyrically so clever. He really is able to write great lyrics. And he's never really hit the heights of this album since, I don't think. But that's not a real regret, because we have this album and it's absolutely fantastic. And this is First Day of My Life. I think these are maybe some of the best lyrics on the album. And lyrically, it's one of the best albums ever written, in my view. So, here we go.
I was born right in the doorway. Went out in the rain, suddenly everything changed. They're spreading blankets on the beach. It was the first face that I saw. Think I was blind before I met you. Don't know where I am, don't know where I've been, but I know where I want to go. So I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, these things, they take forever. I especially am slow. But I realized that I need you, and I wondered if I could come home. Ooh, ooh. And the time you drove all night just to meet me in the morning. And I thought it was strange that everything changed. You felt as if you just woke up. You said, it's the first day of my life, that I didn't die before I met you. But now I don't care, I could go anywhere with you. And I'd probably be happy if you wanna be with me. For these things there is no telling, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'd rather be working for a paycheck than waiting to win the lottery. Besides, maybe this time it's different. I mean, I really think you like me.
It's a good one. It's a good song off a great album, and I highly recommend it. If you've never listened to I'm Wide Awake It's Morning by Bright Eyes, listen to it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a great album. All right, let's get back to having a rank in public with Reiner Knizia. Love having a little bit of a public rank. Okay, now we get to a heavyweight. Modern art. Modern art is not just a great game. It is not just a fun game. Modern art is a bona fide masterpiece and absolutely hands down my favorite Knizia game. Why is this game so great? There are a number of reasons, but this is a strategic game and a party game rolled into one, and it works brilliantly as both. The auction mechanisms are absolutely perfectly honed. The strategy, the way you collect games, the way you manipulate the market. This is a deep economic game. It's the way it simulates the art market is absolutely masterful. And this is a game that is super simple, plays in 45 minutes, and yet is the deepest experience you'll have. And on top of that, is an incredible party game full of laughs and stupidity. And also, Knizia says, whether this is deliberate or not, whether it's just me writing something into this, but Knizia makes a very sort of astute point in this game about the art market. What is art? What is the value of art? Is it the art itself? Or is it the money people are willing to pay for it? Knizia posits the idea, maybe in a cynical way, maybe in a satirical way, that what art is simply what people will pay for. And value is connected to renown. And I would like to think that that's not true. But when you think, especially of the visual arts, especially when you think of painting, how do we judge how great an artist is? Well, certainly one of the ways we judge is how much a painting goes for. Van Gogh's profile went up incredibly after Sunflowers was sold for the millions that it was sold for. It's not the only criteria, but what I like about modern art is that it's a cynical game that posits that's the only criteria. And Pete's right. It's the best if you love auctions. And so I love everything. I love everything about modern art. I think the game functions perfectly, both as a party game and an economic simulation. But also what it says about art and our connection to art and all of that stuff is brilliant. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's my favorite Knizia game. I think it's Knizia at his absolute zenith. People think of Knizia as the incredible designer he is because of games like this, and maybe because of this one. Which is interesting. The game that follows is Nightmare Productions, which is a reworking of Traumfabrik, which is another economic game, which is another auction game. And it's not an economic game. It's an auction game in which you're constructing movies and you're trying to score points regarding how the synergies are in this particular movie. And you have a star and a soundtrack and all of that sort of stuff. And what's interesting is I'm going to put it in good. I'm going to put it here in good. I don't think it's incredible. And it's amazing. Essentially, he's using similar mechanisms. And yet it just doesn't bounce. like modern art does. It's good, Nightmare Productions. I play it a lot, and I play it a lot with people who don't know a lot about games because it's very easy to grok, but it feels like a proper board game. A lot of games that people play with beginners don't feel like board games. They don't feel, if you play just one is brilliant. But I think people, when they ask to play a board game, they want to play a board game. And this feels like a proper board game. It's a proper board. There's proper components. You go around the board and you pick things off. And it's great. It's good. It's at the top end of good, but I don't love it. And it's so good for people that love the film theme. That's absolutely right. And Dave says he loves modern art, but he finds it hard to play well. Yeah, me too. I find it hard to play any games well. I'm not very bright, unfortunately. Ra. Now, I played Ra now 5 times, which for me is a lot. And I'm putting Ra here. This is one of the Reiner Knizia auction classics. You see, Pete says it's next to modern art for him. Everyone says that to me, and I cannot get along with this game for some reason. I don't understand what it is. Maybe I'll play it again, but I like it. Don't get me wrong, but I can't. I first played this in Denmark 6 or 7 years ago, and I just didn't get it. And I thought, I don't get this. And then I went to see the big KS, Karthik Sethi, in the autumn, and we played this. And we played it 3 or 4 times in a row, and it was all right. Didn't love it. I don't get it. And if anyone wants to explain why this is brilliant, then please pop it in the comments and let me know. And what am I doing wrong? Why don't I love this in the way everyone else does? All right. So this one. So often the question is asked, what is the most underrated game in the hobby? And my usual go-to answer is Dogs of War, because Dogs of War is absolutely brilliant. But I'm more and more thinking that it is probably Stevenson's Rocket. This game is an absolute masterpiece. This game is Knizia's take on the train game. And it's weird, sort of the way Knizia approaches something is completely unique and unlike anyone else. And it has shares and it has route building, but it feels completely unique. It feels completely Knizia. And the central... So this is a game that is utterly mean. It is a bastard. The game hates you. It encourages players around the table to be completely immoral assholes. It's brilliant. It doesn't take long. It takes an hour to 90 minutes to play. It's very simple. You have a simple palette of actions, and yet the way they interact with each other, the way the routes are built, the way the game just sinks, it is pure Knizia brilliance. I don't like it as much as modern art, but Stevenson's Rocket is an absolute masterpiece. And one of the greatest tragedies, I think, that Knizia broke his partnership with Grail Games is that the Grail Games version is brilliant. It has extra maps. Ian O'Toole does the art, so of course it's great. It is a real definitive version of this game, and why this one isn't held up as other sort of classic big box Knizia games, I don't know. But it is absolutely fantastic. And I spoke to Knizia himself, and he said it should be held in higher esteem, and it isn't. It's a great game. Okay, this is Schottentotten 2, the picture, I believe. But let's pretend this is Schottentotten, because I didn't like Schottentotten 2, and that would be here. But Schottentotten, I think I'd put Schottentotten lower end of incredible. As a 2-player game, it's brilliant. It's an absolutely fantastic 2-player game. And it's very mathy. And I think, although it's very simple, I think for beginners, this would be a bit of a rough game because it has concepts that are kind of weird. that are the way that you've got to add up, and then you can win and you can't. And I'm talking as someone who knows nothing about mathematics, right? So I'm good at commenting on this sort of stuff. And yeah, it's a complex light game, but once you get into it, it's really good. It's really good. Shot and Totten is excellent. High Society, another one of the classic Knizia auction games. Yeah, and I'm happy with it there as masterpiece. Why is High Society a masterpiece? There are so many design decisions here. So the big headline design decision, which is, if you've not played High Society, well, I shall bring it. If you're going to be at game night on Thursday, I'll bring it on Thursday, because it takes 20 minutes to play, and we'll play it and it'll blow you away, though it's mean as fuck. So the headlining mechanism is, if you're the person who spends the most money in High Society, you score nothing. You cannot win the game. And so it's trying to gauge what other people have spent whilst spending enough, because you need to buy cards to get points, because cards are points. And then there are so many other things. So the way the values of cards are spread out, and once you've played a card, that's it. And the way the values of cards are spread out is so clever, because it means you end up spending just a little bit more every time than you want to. And you never quite get to spend exactly what you want, which means you're teetering on the edge of danger at all times. It's fantastic. This is an absolutely brilliant game. And it's 20 minutes, and you get all the game you need in 20 minutes. This is High Society is brilliant. And another thing that's fabulous is you're bidding for stuff and you're buying stuff, and some things are worth more than others. But then you have cards that do really bad shit to you, and you have to bid to not take them. And you look at them and you go, oh my God, if I get this, that completely ruins my game. So you have to bid high to not get the card. But that puts you at risk of spending the most money and going straight to zero. And of course, if you get the card that's bad for you, it's bad, but it's not as bad as nothing. Zero. Zip. It's a brilliant game. It's a tense game. It's a mean game. It's brilliant. I'm going to take this with me to game night on Thursday, and hopefully Meeple Pete will be there and we can play. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And what people don't talk about with Knizia is how mean his games can be sometimes. And meanness is a great quality when done well. Sunrise Lane, the latest Knizia big box, and I'm going to put it in fine. Oh, gold, what happened there? I hit my keyboard. It's fine. When I was playing this a lot, when I was going to review this, and what I said to people, I said, if I just got into the hobby and I played this, I think it was great. People are talking about how it's a sort of Ticket to Ride-esque game, but it has none of the bite and tension of Ticket to Ride. It's nowhere near that. I can see why people are saying this is Ticket to Ride-esque, and you build routes and you block people, but it has none of that bite, none of that tension. It's a very simple game, and yet something missing. It's fine. I didn't hate it. Don't love it, though. Why is Tigris and Euphrates here twice? I don't know. Okay, so ignore that. I'm using computers. Voodoo Prince, Knizia's trick taker. Now, people are going to be surprised by this, I think, but I think Voodoo Prince is an absolute masterpiece. I think it is a brilliant trick taker. And my favorite trick taker is Skull King, but I think this comes close. So Skull King can feel quite brutal, and it can feel like you have no control. And Voodoo Prince doesn't. Voodoo Prince gives you more control, I think. And that idea that you want to be the penultimate person out is just so clever and so simple. And the introduction of those cards that do funky shit, again, brilliant, simple. This is why Knizia is brilliant, because none of his games overbearingly complex. They're very simple and they do something brilliant. Voodoo Prince is a masterpiece. It's at the lower end on this tier list, but and you can't get it anymore. I'm so glad I bought it at Essen because you can get Marshmallow Experiment, but that takes the cards that do shit out, which neuters the game in my view. So Voodoo Prince, brilliant. Botswana Wildlife Safari. I'll move that to here so we can actually see them, eh? I'm going to put... Oh, this is difficult, though. This is difficult. Because is it good? Is it incredible? I played this at Tony's Gathering of Chums, Tony Boydell's Gathering of Chums. I'm going to put it on the lower end of incredible, actually. If you haven't played this, it comes with plastic animals. And again, it's one of these brilliant little card games by Knizia that has 3 mechanisms, and it's so mean. Yeah, bought it after first thing. Did you play it at Chums, Dave? Did we play it together, actually? And it is a really, really mean, bitey game. It's Knizia at his absolute best. Well, it's not Knizia at his absolute best. No, we didn't play together. It's not Knizia at absolute best. It's Knizia. It's a very good, solid Knizia game. And I can't put it in incredible. I don't think it fits incredible. I think it fits top tier good. But it's a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend it if you get a chance. It's a really good game. And the last one, Witchstone. So I really like Witchstone, and it's not a Knizia game. It has his name on the box, but it's not. I think the main design thrust was from the other designer, and this feels like a Feld game. It doesn't, and the thing is, it doesn't feel like it's Knizia doing a Feld game. It feels out and out like a Feld game, and it's really good. And I would put it here. I think it's a really good game. I've really enjoyed it every time I played it. It is a tops in the most games per rules category. Yeah, absolutely. It's fine, Witchstone. It is not the best game I've played, but it's a very solid Eurogame, and I like very solid Eurogames, and I could play very solid Eurogames all the time. And it feels like at the moment I haven't played... You see, P, I don't get it either. I tried to love Ra, and I can't. I can't. I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to play it again. One day, maybe it'll click, and I'll love it. All right, so I'm going to play one more song, and it has to be a Ween song, because I have to play a Ween song every week. And this is Ocean Man. It's Ween's, I think, most popular song, because it became a meme a few years ago. It's a great tune. It's not one of Ween's best, I don't think, but it's a great tune. I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to watch Liverpool play Chelsea Football Club, and hopefully Liverpool are going to win. And I have to say, I am utterly heartbroken that Jurgen Klopp has decided to leave Liverpool at the end of the season. It came completely out of the blue, and it is totally heartbreaking. Jurgen Klopp, the greatest German who's ever lived, and he's leaving us. And, you know, I've gone through the 5 stages of grief over this. Terrible. Terrible. Okay, so, Ocean Man, Ween. Ocean Man, take me by the hand. Oh, no, hang on. I've got to put the auto scroll on. Give me a second. Oh, that was quite a good start, though, I thought. Ocean Man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean Man, voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip. Ocean Man, crust of a tan and imbibed by the sound, soaking up the thirst of the land. Ocean Man, can you see through the wonder of amazement at the overman? Ocean Man, crust is elusive when it cares for to the childlike man. Ocean Man, sequence of a life form raising the sound,
soaking up the thirst of the land, ocean man. Ocean man. Ocean man. Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean man, voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip. Ocean man, sequence of a life form, raising the sound, soaking up the thirst of the land. Ocean man, can you see through the wonder of amazement at the overman? Ocean man, crust is elusive when it cares for to the childlike mind. Ocean man, sequence of a life form, raising the sound, soaking up the thirst of the land. Ocean man.
There you go, Ocean Man by Ween. It's a fucking top tune. And an interesting fact about Ween you may not know is that SpongeBob SquarePants was based on the album The Mollusk by Ween. Interesting facts all round. There are so few great games can literally be taught in under 60 seconds. No Thanks was the best one for me until I saw Wildlife Safari. I think No Thanks is a masterpiece. I think it is a masterpiece. I think it's better than Wildlife Safari, but I see what you mean. Yeah. Wildlife Safari, get it if you can. It's great. Anyway, so brilliant. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you want to join the Discord, you can by going to 5g4d.com and you can click on the pinned post there and it'll take you to the Discord and you can chat on that. Also, if you like this and you want to help, you can always go to patreon.com/5g4d and help the podcast happen, help the YouTube videos happen, help the whole milieu. I need to buy a DI box for my guitar because my guitar doesn't sound great plugged into this mixer. So I've got to spend that money to buy that. It's not hugely expensive, but I've got to wait on that. Meeple Pete says good night, Meeple Pete, and I shall see you, beautiful people, next week, same station. If you've got any song requests, if you've got any questions, go to the live stream tab on the Discord and get it on. I'll see you later.